So here's the homework solutions for problems 17 and 18 on comparing scientific notation numbers. We know from class today that when we have numbers in scientific notation, that all we have to do is look at the power of 10 and the exponent. Whichever exponent is bigger will give us the bigger number. Now if the numbers weren't in scientific notation, we could change them to scientific notation by moving the decimal in the number part and then compare again the powers of 10. Or we also learned that we could take each number and change it into standard form and then compare those numbers. So let's look at what we got. It says place the appropriate inequality symbols between the following numbers. So I have 3.2 times 10 to the 6th and 4.2 times 10 to the 9th. Well, we know that they are in scientific notation because this number is between 1 and 10, and it's a power of 10. Here, this number is between 1 and 10, and it's a power of 10. So if we simply look at the exponents, okay, we see that's a 9, and that's a 6. So this number is bigger, so that means that would be a less than. Now on your homework, you have to write these out in your spiral notebook. So don't just put the less than, greater than, or equal, because you want to see the number to refer back to. B, again we see that this number is between 1 and 10, power of 10, between 1 and 10, a power of 10, so they are in scientific notation. So we look at the exponent, a 7 and a 4. The 7 is bigger, so that would be less than. So when we look at all of these problems, we see that they're all in scientific notation, so it's a pretty easy assignment. So here, the 8 is larger than the negative 8, so again, less than. Okay, negative 6, negative 9, we know in negatives that the larger the negative, the smaller it is. In other words, in this problem right here, I would move this decimal over 9 places, where I'd only move this one over 6 places. Well, the more decimal places you have, the smaller it is. So in this case, this is greater than. Okay, negative 4, negative 3, so we know the smaller negative number is actually larger, so that's less than. Negative 8, negative 13, so the negative 8 is a larger number, so it's greater than. Okay, this time I have the same power, 10 to the 6, 10 to the 6, so I have to actually look at the number part. Well, 3.98 is smaller than 5.98, so that's less than. Okay, same thing on H, 10 to the 4th, 10 to the 4th, so I look at the number part, 1.65, 1.56. Well, remember we learned in class that if you write them out and line up the decimals, and then start with the largest place, I have 1 and 1, same. 6/10 and 5/10. 6/10 is larger, so the whole number is larger. So that makes this problem greater than. Okay, next problem, negative 8, negative 8. So I look at the number part, 8.3, 3.0. 8.3 is larger. Okay, 6.899, 7.43. So 6.899 is smaller, so less than. So that was pretty easy. If I had a problem where I had to move the decimal, I'll give you an example. Let's say this one, 4.6 times 10 to the 5th, and we're going to compare that to, let's say, 18.7 times 10 to the 6th power. Right away, if you don't notice that this number and this number, or I should say that this number right here isn't in scientific notation, then you either have to change the numbers into standard form and compare, or put this number in scientific notation. So, in this case, I have to move this decimal back 1 place. Well, I know I'm going 6 places to the right. I'm actually moving it back a place. So I'm moving it farther away from where it needs to go. So in that case, like a number line, if I go in both directions on a number line, I add to find my difference between them. So since I moved it back 1 place, then my new scientific notation number would be 1.87 times 10 to the 7th. And now I can compare with the 4.6 times 10 to the 5th like I did all of these. So in this case, that 7 is larger, so that makes this less than. Okay, here we're going to order them from least to greatest. Now on my video, I'm just going to put numbers on them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Of course, you have to write them out least to greatest. So let's just check to make sure in scientific notation. Yes, 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 yes. So let's just look at the powers. So I have 10 to the third, 10 to the seventh, 10 to the fifth, 10 to the fourth. So this one would be smallest. Then 10 to the fourth would be next. Then 10 to the fifth would be the third one. And 10 to the seventh would be the largest one. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, scientific notation. Okay. Yep. So 10 to the 12th, 10 to the 6th, 10 to the 8th, 10 to the 3rd. So this one would be the smallest. Then 10 to the 6th would be next. 10 to the 8th would be 3rd. 10 to the 12th would be 4th. So this is pretty easy stuff. I'll do one more. Okay, check for scientific notation. Yes, 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 yes. So, okay, I have two negatives. So I know again that the larger the negative, the smaller it is. So 10 to the 7th would be smaller than 10 to the 3rd. Okay, then I have 10 to the 5th and 10 to the 6th, so that would be next. And then 10 to the 6th would be last. So you can do the last three on your own. So pretty easy homework assignment. It's a little bit different.